What's going on, guys? MC Netek here. Lately I've been having an itch to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, but had zero interest in playing current format. Me and Subway 01100 decided that we were going to play older formats, but rather than play the de facto standard that is GOAT, we decided to play some of our favorite formats. The deck I'm going to profile today is a deck that was created by Hugo Adame and piloted by Ryan Hayakawa of Team Comic Odyssey at SJC Honolulu, Hawaii. This is a variant that was different than standard variants. So without further ado, let's jump right into the deck profile. So to start off the deck, we're going to go off with the most expensive card at the time, and the reason the deck gets its name. 3 Dark Armed Dragons. At its peak, this card was around $300 to $350, more if you had foreign version. This card had no summon restrictions outside of needing 3 dark monsters in the graveyard, meaning you could summon multiples at a time. And being a broke 16-year-old at the time with no job, I was always envious of the people at my locals who had this card, especially because I was losing week to week. Because at the time, the only deck I had was a Perfect Circle deck. Next, we played 3 copies of Chaos the Shadow Monarch. For our Destiny heroes, 2 Malicious, 1 Disc Commander, 1 Fearmonger, and 1 Stratos. Fearmonger was a card you rarely got its effect off, but was there to ensure that you always had a target for Destiny draw. Now, what separated this deck from the traditional dad decks was the inclusion of 3 Dekochi. I'm not going to try and theorize why he played this card, but it's a nice card to deck clean, although it makes the deck not as explosive as the standard version. Sangan, let's be honest, the card's only good for Crush Card Virus. 1 Dark Grepher allows you to dump darks in the grave for Dark Armed Dragon, as well as getting your Malicious and Disc in graveyard. Strike Ninja, sometimes you have more than 3 darks and you need a way to manipulate your dark count. It's also a good card against back row heavy decks, and ensure you can always keep a monster on board for Caius. 1 Snipe Hunter, because it was one of your most reliable outs and one of your few outs you had to Heraclinos, and it also forced out Solemn Judgments. So the last monster in the deck to round out 19 monsters is 1 copy of Spirit Reaper. Because there were a lot of Gladiator Beasts and Monarch decks at the time, I'm highly considering cutting this card. I'm not sure if I'm going to just drop down to 40 cards, or if I'm going to add another monster. So for the draw power of the deck, we have 3 Destiny Draw and 2 Allure of Darkness. Because this is post-emergency ban list, May 2008, Allure was at 2. Not sure why they brought it back to 3 during Teledad. Cards that don't need explanation, you got your Recursion, your back row removal, Rotor Brain Control, and 1 Book of Moon. So I opted to play 3 copies of Solemn Judgment, whereas Ryan played a 3rd Windblast and a 2nd Bottomless instead. If you knew there would be a lot of Gladiator Beast decks present, I'd at the least side a 2nd copy of Bottomless. 2 Windblasts, Torrential, Mirror Force, Bottomless, Dust Shoot, and Crush Card Virus. Crush Card Virus was another really expensive card that I was fortunate to have at the time. It was at its peak a $300 card, but could be had for around $250. I know of people who bought 1 box and pulled 1, and others who bought multiple boxes and pulled none. Same with the Dark Armed Dragon. So if you guys are bored with the current format, I highly suggest trying out older decks. If you have the staples already, the decks are very cheap to make. If you're interested in seeing duel videos or deck profiles of older decks, comment down below. Currently I have Dark Armed Dragon, Salvo Dad, and Quick Draw, or commonly known as Dandy Warrior. Thanks for watching, and check out Subway 01100's channel for his deck profile on 2008 Dad Monarchs. I'll have it linked below.